Hi there. I was recently playing around with hit indicators, and I invented something pretty cool, and I figured I'd share it really quick. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and open up a new scene, create a canvas, and give it a name, anything. So I'm going to call this enemy canvas. It doesn't really matter. We're going to delete it in about 30 seconds. But then we'll add an image, a UI image, and we'll give that a name, maybe hit target highlighter. Target indicator. Alright. And next, I think we'll go ahead and add an image. This little image here works perfectly. I just created it in Photoshop. You can change the colors. Colors work really well, and you can go with different colors depending on what you need it for. Alright. That's pretty good. Now we want to turn that into a prefab, so we're just going to drag it into the project window, and then we're going to delete the whole thing. Bye-bye. Alright, let's create a new C# script. And I'm going to name it Target Client. Perfect. Let's double click on that to open it up. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to create a few variables. I'm going to start with a game object variable after we clear up all this stuff. So I'm going to toss in a game object variable. This is going to be our prefab. We're going to pass that prefab that we just created into this. If I can type public properly. There we go. So public game object target indicator. And that's going to be our prefab. And then we're going to have a private game object highlighter. And that's going to store our prefab. It's going to be a container that's going to hold that for the duration that it's alive. And then we're going to go private rect transform, and we'll call it RT. And we'll go with a private camera, and we'll call it cam. There we go. And the start method, let's jump down here, and we're going to type in highlighter equals instantiate target indicator. And then we're going to go game object, if game object. So we want to check to see if the game object is alive. So we're going to go game object dot find enemy canvas. So if it doesn't exist, we're going to create it. And if it does exist, that means some other entity already created it for us. So we don't need to create it again. So we'll go game object dot go equals new game object, and we'll call it enemy canvas. So this is if we didn't find it, we're going to create a new canvas. Then we're going to go var cv. So that's just a random variable. Go.add component. Well, I'm having a problem with typing here. Hang on a second. My fingers are buttery. Add component canvas. Okay, and then we're going to go cv.render mode. And this is because if you don't do this, it'll automatically set the render mode to world. And we'll set it to screen space overlay. And then next we want to just quickly add a canvas scalar. So we'll say go.add component canvas scalar, and that's that. Okay. Now we want to parent this to the new canvas that we've just created. This object, this highlighter object, this prefab that we've created. It needs to be on a canvas object. So we're going to parent it to the canvas. In this situation, it's going to be the go object, and so we're going to say highlighter.transform.parent equals gameObject.find enemy canvas.transform. And the reason I want to do this is because I don't want to reuse this variable. I want it to be gone once we've finished using it. That's good programming practice, not to keep any variables alive that you don't need to have. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go if the gameObject.tag equals entity. And that's a tag that I've created called entity, and that means that this is just so I can color it properly. And you can have various different tags that do set various different colors, and that'll work out well for you in getting the colors set without having to worry about anything. And then we'll just add that, and then we're going to say rt equals highlighter.getComponent rect transform. And then we're going to set our camera to the main camera of the scene, but we want to go based on its tag because sometimes you might name your camera something else. So we'll find objects with tag and main camera, and then we'll get the camera component, and then that's that. And this script is almost done actually. There's not too much more to do here. So we're just going to change this update to a fixed update. I think that a fixed update is a little more effective for what we're doing here. That way we don't have to worry about making sure that in runtime things are scaled into delta time properly. Then we're going to create an onDestroy method. And what this is going to do is when the object that holds this script dies, it's also going to destroy the UI element that we've created. But it won't destroy the enemy canvas. It's just going to destroy the UI element. Okay. And so we're just going to, if highlighter exists, destroy the highlighter. That's it. Now we're going to create a vector 3, and we're going to call it pose, and we're going to pass in a world screen point. So that means a position in the world we're going to pass to a position on the screen. So it can be, so our object will actually reflect a screen space position. So somewhere on the screen will show this little rect that we've created, this little image that we've created. And then we're going to say the transform position of that rect transform is equal to casted vector 2, because we want to convert that vector 3 into vector 2. Otherwise, it'll be somewhere deep in the z-axis as well. And that's it. All right, I'll just give that a second to update. And then we will drag and drop that client onto a test enemy. And we're going to, I'm going to delete this. This is an old script I was using before. I'm just going to delete that and put in this new script that I've created. There we go. And then we're going to plug in that prefab we created, target indicator. And that's all we need to do. That is it. You can plug that into anything. As long as you've added the tag entity, which we can see here, we've got a tag in our tags. Any entity that I have now will literally function. Now there is one problem with this, is that it won't calculate if the enemy is behind you. So it'll just put it in front of you. It doesn't have, it only has 180 degrees of calculation. So we'd have to implement that in our next video. We'll show you how to fix that. But for now, just quickly going to give us a couple enemies here. And now you can see I have 2 of them. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.